Hi everyone, it's Katie. Welcome to my video today. I will apologize, I do have a cold, so it might sound a little bit rough this morning, but I'm sharing with you today a video using some new products for me. This image that you see right here is a pre-printed watercolor image. It's on watercolor paper and it's got a fun little texture to the ink. And it's from Simon Says Stamps. It's part of the Susie's Doodles watercolor. This one is from the Spring Has Sprung collection. And I got this distress crayon with my March Simon Says Stamp kit. And I was online and I found a few techniques. And so I wanted to just share that with you today. I am using this masking fluid pen. And I'm just kind of going over and I'm masking off where I do not want the distress crayon color to go. So I just kind of outline the image a little bit so that you'll see in a moment where I am going to use the distress crayon. But this kind of creates a barrier. So I let that dry and then I am just coloring with this crayon. And there's lots of different ways you can use these crayons, and I think that this is something I might have to get a few more of because they're kind of addicting and fun. They have a little bit different texture to them, and then if you activate them with water, they just kind of blend, and not really a watercolor effect. However, they do work best with watercolor paper because they are water activated, I guess is the word I'm looking for. But I just used my finger with a little bit of water and then just kind of blended it out. And so it is kind of maybe a mixture between the watercolor effect and the distress marker effect or distress ink effect. They're really kind of fun. They're really kind of addicting. And I have seen some super cute tie-dye effects. So I think I'm going to get a few more. So I let that dry a little bit. And then I came back and I'm just going to peel off that masking fluid. And you just use your finger and just rub it off. And it just peels right off. And right there, when I'm doing the heart, you can see how it just kept the color from going there, even though I watercolored over it. It's a very fun tool that I just don't use often enough. Because it is a time consuming. You need to put it on and let it dry. And so this particular card did take a long time to get ready, but it turns out very pretty in the end. And it was just fun to play with. So I'm using my new, I don't know how to say them, Gonzai Taki watercolors. They're new and they're Japanese. I picked them up at Simon Says Stamp, and I will link to them in my blog post. My blog post actually went live already, and I didn't have time to edit this video, but I thought I really wanted to get it uploaded and share. So there's a link in the bottom of this video to my blog where you could check things out. And so I'm just kind of mixing some of the colors together to get the color scheme that I want. And then I'm just laying it on with my watercolor brushes. And I did lay down some water prior to coloring with these so that there's a little bit more of a watercolor effect. I would say that these watercolors are maybe a little bit thicker. So you have quite the learning curve, I guess, for me. So these images that I picked up from Simon Says Stamp, the Susie's Doodles, were kind of fun to play with and fun to experiment with. And that's pretty much what I'm doing. So I'm just laying down all kinds of color here. This particular one is the fence, and I combined a couple of colors, and I've seen a lot of other videos with these watercolors as well, so I'm hoping that I have more time to play and kind of experiment with them and add some stuff. I think that coloring these images, maybe this is just a little bit thicker, however it does create a very vibrant effect to your images. So I am just using some water and a clear block to mix them. I sped things up here because I wanted to get things moving on. But I just laid down a little bit of black and white and created some gray. And you kind of saw there that it bled a little bit. But I just went back over it with the brown and kind of pushed the gray back into where I wanted it. And it worked out fine. So I think that's kind of the joy of having watercolor. I did just pull the color right from the palette for the green, and that really makes it vibrant and popping off of the paper. So there's many, like I said, many different ways to use this, and I'm just still experimenting and having fun. And I hope that you guys all try these things, and maybe if you have tried them and you have some tips for me, I would love to hear them. That would be awesome, because I get most of my ideas from the people that I follow, and maybe I don't see some of the other things. I don't really go and research a lot either. It's just whatever I see on the blogs that I already follow and the videos that I check out on YouTube. So I'm just going through and coloring all the fun little images. I sped it up to make it a little bit quicker, but there's lots of little detail on here, and maybe a little bit more than I wanted to do, just trying out these watercolors, but it's still quite fun. So now that I've let that sit and dry, I'm ready to kind of put it together. And I did run the main panel through with one of my MFT stitched border dies. And then I just used some craft cardstock for the base, and I'm just wrapping some twine around there just to kind of give some dimension, because it is a pretty flat card. It's going to be perfect for mailing, and it is one of the things that I sent out for Easter this year. But I am going to use some foam tape to pop it up, just again to kind of give a little bit more dimension to the card. And then once I get that on there, of course, I think I need to add a little bit more. So I'm going to go in there with my Wink of Stella brush and add a little bit more, some shimmer. So like I said, this card was kind of a process of a few days. So you probably will see that things have changed, but I had to let everything dry, and it turned out really pretty. So I'm excited that I did it. But one thing I want to note about the Wink of Stella brush, that it kind of reacts with the watercolor, so I had to be really careful. I smudged the little heart, but it still turned out very cute. So I appreciate you guys watching. I hope that you enjoyed me learning some new techniques and that you'll stop back again. Have a great day. Bye.